Welcome to Now Be You, a podcast and global community for ambitious female entrepreneurs. Here we discuss the ways we can empower you to meet us at the intersection of wellness and daily business practices. I'm your host, Leonora and a psychologist, meditation guide, author, entrepreneur, and mentor with over a decade of experience helping thousands of women unlock their full potential. Today, I'm thrilled to speak with Masami Sato, the founder and CEO of B1G1, Buy One, Give One, a global initiative that empowers businesses to embed impactful giving into their daily operations. With over 230 million giving impacts created so far, her visionary approach has inspired thousands of businesses worldwide. A two-time TEDx speaker, and author of 4 transformative books, including Giving Businesses and Better Business, Better Life, Better World, Masami's work showcases the extraordinary potential of purpose-driven business. Get ready to uncover the secrets behind a movement that's redefining the way business give back and how it's changing lives across the globe. So, let's jump in. So welcome to Now Be You Global Show, and I'm so excited to have Masami Sato on our beautiful interview that we're gonna talk and deep dive into about our authenticity and the self-expression in the world, what we do. So Masami, you're such a wonderful mind and such a bright heart. I've experienced you on the stages. I've experienced it in the project you co-creating with Paul Dunn and doing this Buy One, Give One project together, connecting all the beautiful minds and businesses. And I wanted to ask you and start this conversation about this, your calling. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Well, that's actually like a very big question, right? Like, why do we all do what we do? And for me, I actually didn't really see it coming. So I started just being this person, who felt small in this big world, and the outside world it seemed to be quite different and somehow scary, right? And so when I first started to travel and didn't speak English, that was like nearly 30 years ago. I became this just very vulnerable person, like without having the ability to communicate with others. I was introverted and I didn't know how to connect with people in my own country. But then when I went out and then started to backpack around the world and, without the ability to speak the language, that's when I started to really experience the magic of a connection. Because, when you cannot even try to say the right thing, or to communicate in such a way that it's regarded as the right way, then you just be this simple person who just need to go to talk to people and ask for help when you need. And so that was just the most amazing experience that I had in my life. And then from there on, lots of things happened, and I realized that if we could just be the simple expression of who we are without having the kind of thinking like, oh, we have to do it this way, that way, this is right, this is wrong, then we can create so much magic and a good and a positive impact in the world. So that's kind of me and my why, that I love seeing people coming from different point of views, experiences, expertise, skills, but by coming together, we can create so much like potential and greater good in the world. So that's my, I think, why.
That's your why, and that's basically shows very well what's on the field in your life. It's this B1G1, Buy One, Give One project that you implementing and really expanding and exploring in your own life. So talking about that path you chose,
right.
and it went through you and created through you so beautifully that connected all of us, right? And it's and keeps on going and growing. I wanted to ask you, what was your boldest maybe move you've done in your life while you listen to your intuition? How was your? Because we know to be intuitive and to be authentic is we need a lot of courage.
Okay, well, I don't know if I had a lot of courage, because sometimes, like, when things happen to my life and things go totally unexpected, then I have a tendency to like surrender and let go, and that's when I can be very open and somehow like kind of rambunctious as well in some way. Sometimes I'm analyzing like and assessing things too much in my head, then I become much more cautious. So it's interesting how like sometimes the biggest chaos unlocks this like enormous ability to let go. And so, a couple of examples are like when I was backpacking and being in Central America, and I was just learning to speak Spanish. Like I had a little bit of conversational Spanish ability, but then I found myself in Costa Rica in the middle of nowhere with no money. Like nothing. Like I had a couple of dollars in my pocket, and that was all I had. And then I was there without any friends, or so that's when like one of those moments I thought like, oh, like I can't do anything, right? Like I really have nothing. Yeah. So then I traveled, it took a bus and then arrived in the rural village, and I started knocking on the doors and talking with people, families, and said, oh, like I'm lost and I have nothing, but can I stay with you and I can work for you and clean the house and cook for you? So then I went on that kind of like trip, connecting with some extraordinary people. And that was one of my most special like traveling experiences I had. And interestingly, like years later, because back then I got actually like rescued by Red Cross, like village Red Cross team, and I had a really lovely experience. And then years later, I found that I, like connected with the head of Red Cross International, like Red Cross, and we became friends. And because I just wanted to thank him for being the leader in this organization that were doing some amazing things. And so I think like sometimes when you surrender and let go, it's kind of lead us to some of the most precious experiences of our life. So I guess like at that time I wasn't trying to be courageous. I was just like not giving up, but letting go, and just being open to whatever that comes. And sometimes when you do so, it's actually not so scary.
That's exactly that's where it's leading. Another question where I was thinking, wow, for the listeners, and that we are journeying all together with you now in your all extraordinary experiences in life, is actually that what I wanted to ask you. What is your tool, tips and tricks for the listeners, maybe to really do something through their intuition, authenticity, allow that expand and explore.
So I tend to forget this message, and then I have to kind of remember this. But I think, this is a very interesting topic, because we are all here living our life and, maybe running our businesses or have different family challenges to deal with. And so we think like, it's very serious, like life is serious, business is serious. But then actually, if we use a metaphor, it makes it easier for us to remember the essence of like what it is about. So for example, I have this metaphor, which is useful for me too, to think of this just like a game. So we are playing this game, and then the things that are in common between the game that we play and then our life and our work or business is that first of all, there is a beginning and end. Like game that we play, we start playing for some reason. Like, people come together to play a game. So there is a beginning. So life has a beginning. But then also there's ending. So life and business all have ending, right? Like, so actually we are here for a given period of time to play this game. Right? Like, so then inside the game world, we have rules. like rules that we play by, things that are useful to know, the skills and the mastery and the essence of being the master game players. So it's useful to learn from others who are good at playing the game, and then get the little tricks and then apply it. And then you go, oh, it works. Like then you've advanced to the next level. So we are playing in this game. And then sometimes we get attached to the outcome of games, right? And then, of course, it's fun because of the scoring system, it makes the game much more interesting and meaningful. And it actually makes like every step of the way as the milestone that we get to share and enjoy with others. But the thing is, like, if we really think about the essence of game and why we are playing that game, and then if we think like the outcome, the score is like a kind of end result of the game, then actually we might cheat each other, like and do all sort of things to win the points. We could win, but at the end of winning, there comes like a emptiness, like, oh, I won, but so what, right?
And then?
Yeah, so, but the thing is, like, the purpose of playing the game is actually to enjoy. Right? Like, so, like, little children coming together to play. Why are they playing? Because it's to enjoy.
Because they like the game.
Yes.
When they don't like the game, they leave the playground.
Yeah.
And
right?
they
like,
are being so honest.
Yeah, yeah. And then if you are like throwing the tantrum and, like winning the point, but nobody want to play with you anymore, then it's not fun. But if you are enjoying playing the game and you make it also more enjoyable for others to join in the game, right? Like then, actually you attract the people you get to play with and enjoy the game with. And that makes the game the most powerful and magical. So actually the essence is the fun, but then again, we go through all sort of emotional ups and downs. And it's fine because, game is thrilling. And sometimes it's really like sad or, you cry together, we smile together. But ultimately, at the end of the game, even no matter how many points you collect or status you gain, you have to actually leave everything behind and move to another game, right? And start all over again. So I feel like that is like something that is useful to remember because, in our real life too, it's easy to get into the thinking of like we have to gain more and accumulate more, and then we have to worry about our retirement and all that kind of things. But because at the end of it, it's the completion of the game. So what we want to be like or do is to be in a state of mind when we end our game, we can see it as a completion and feel grateful and had so much fun together with the people we love. And then we just move on, right? Like move on to whatever the next game that's waiting for us, which we don't need to know actually.
Absolutely. Just to surrender, as you mentioned before.
Yeah, we don't want to see the spoilers.
But thank you, Masami, about sharing about this perspective of playing the game and creating these playgrounds between each other, because it makes life so much more easier and much more lighter and more fun, yeah?
Yeah, sure,
But what about that little angle, let's say, when someone, also our listeners, and I believe you've been in situations, for example, when you mentioned about the purpose, but what was, maybe you could share something, your biggest learning or failure when you was not following your purpose. And that's where game might become a bit tough or more difficult.
The thing is, right, like if it was a game, the failure is a part of the game anyway. So we get trapped ourselves in the traps that we know that it's there. Like when we were in the different state of mind, these are the traps. But then when you are inside, you just get kind of like, sucked into that trap and then go like, I'm drowning, right? So it's always happen and it's repeat. But then I think every time we go through those traps ourselves, we probably start to get better at, like even though we still get sucked in, we get better at, coming out easier. Or
and not giving up on yourself so easy.
Yeah, and also you would start to surround yourself with other game players who know the next dimension function like of the game, right?
Yeah.
So actually, like you get the support mechanism that pulls you up, but then at the same time, you are also watching out for the opportunity to kind of like, remind others of the importance of enjoying the game, and then gently pull each other up and, be there for each other. And so I think I still do like make lots of mistakes, but it's good to not to judge the mistakes, right? Like, or judge the traps, because it's there, to enhance the meaning of what we are doing. So yeah, so I feel like, yeah, there are lots of things that I do wrongly, but it's not really actually wrong. Like, it's okay.
It's actually, if we look from another angle of experience, it might be just we're collecting as consciousness, as souls, as a broader perspective of ourselves. We're collecting experiences from different angle.
Yeah.
And that's also one of the experience to fail in order to learn what not to do.
Because if we are able to fail well, then we are not judgmental about other people who fail, right? Like it's just...
And to ourselves later on. That's the beautiful angle. And before we close this beautiful journey together, I love that perspective of playing the game of life. So you created a playground.
Yeah.
You created a playground pretty well, really fun. I experienced myself, and I keep on experiencing with our now BU Global team and community. What can you tell shortly about your playground?
So our initiative is called B1G1. It used to be in the beginning called Buy One Give One, but today like we don't actually say Buy One Give One because people think like, oh, is it something to do with like buying something? Like it's not. It's B1G1 exists to turn every action and every business transaction or action into positive impacts around the world. So we have a initiative and a platform that has hundreds of carefully selected high-impact projects that are transforming lives. And we introduce those opportunities to make an impact to businesses around the world. So businesses of any size, type, stage, like they could come together to embed this act of impact and kindness into their business, such as like, coffee shop giving access to water for every coffee they sell, or, authors actually planting trees for every book they, sell, or people go to see health practitioners, and then as a result of it, somebody else get access to healthcare. So we've got businesses doing this in so many different countries now, more than I think 48 countries, and then they are supporting all these like high impact projects, and because they do it regularly, like in a measurable way, and continue to do so and create a habit of creating impact. So as a result, over the years, those businesses have created more than 330 million giving impacts. These are acts of kindness, the smiles that they are creating, and it takes away the kind of judgment, like the businesses are creating, like in some way be seen as like creating harm, right? But actually the purpose of business is to create benefits and the good and the solutions, and then the kind of like potential opportunities for people to enjoy what they do. So we believe that the businesses with a real sense of purpose could come together to really transform this world. And B1G1 is not just an idea, it's the way of being and acting on the everyday basis. And so we are so grateful for the fact that so many business people, amazing business people, saw the potential of idea, simple idea, and they started to come to us to play this game together. And now like they are on an everyday basis, bringing water to community, planting more trees, or, even like taking away plastic from the ocean and saving the wildlife, or providing income generating opportunities to families, and like it's just so much good that can happen through business activities.
Absolutely. And I want to add on that from my personal experience and our team experiences. It's like no matter how small you can imagine you are, but you still can put a different, a good impact for the world with that small action. And this is where you really open the platform for everyone. So before I was thinking, okay, I have to make a lot of money to go high in my career in order to help the world. But to help the world, we can really start with these little steps, of course, starting with yourself. Yeah. But the B1G1 platform gave us opportunity to really explore our potential just in the small steps, the way we are today, not waiting for tomorrow, not waiting for something big or bigger. Just be, accept, know where you are, and still you can give and provide and share those smiles and better world right now today.
Right.
So
Yes.
thank you for your co-creative platform. I do trust we're gonna play more in your playground, our playground, so many other playgrounds. This is what realities we can create all together and co-create. And thank you for all the listeners to be together with us in this beautiful journey together, and much more to come.
Yes, and if you feel inspired about the potential that you may have to make a positive impact, then please go and check out B1G1, b1g1.com, and then see how like every single thing that you are doing on the everyday basis can actually lead to such profound positive impact. And then doing it together is really fun.
Thank you once again. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and see you very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Now Be You podcast. If you liked our conversation, please subscribe the podcast and join our community where much more authentic conversations to come.